The burden of the road. Being under grass and clover. The nightmare of Hecate, or even Freddy Krueger. Being hexed. Title drop. Kicked in the spleen or hit with a knuckleduster. Are you prone to platitudes and barren words? Likely to relapse, or are you departing soon? That didn't really make much sense, but have you managed to get all the song titles in? Yep. Children of Bodom are back with Hexed. Right, before I get started, I've just got a couple of things I want to get out of the way. So if you're not interested in any of this shit and want to go to the review, just go to the time that's going to be put down below. Yeah, go on, fuck off, fuck off, go on, fuck off. In all honesty, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who left such lovely comments on my previous video. I'm not going to go back into that again. I'm taking that video down now. Kind of want to be back in the saddle again doing this. I wasn't actually going to do a review this week, but I started listening to this album, and before you know it, I started writing things down, and before you know it, I had a complete review written out. For the time being, I'm probably going to be doing one video a week. If I do more, I do more, but that's my aim for the time being. And the other thing I wanted to say before I get into the video was rest in peace, Keith Flint of Prodigy fame, of course. I think most metalheads, I think, had a kind of soft spot for this band. Even though it was electronic dance music, there was always a darkness to it. There was certainly an energy to it. I loved the first three albums. I did a review of the recent album, which has actually grown on me a hell of a lot. R.I.P. Keith, you will be missed. But the reason you're here, the Children of Bodom review. So this will be the band's 10th studio album, and I think this is the follow-up to 2015's I Worship Chaos. Received a lackluster response, I think it's fair to say, from both fans and critics alike. I've never personally been a huge Bodom fan, so this is the first album of theirs I've listened to in a very, very long time. Without further ado to the review. First song, The Road. This was one of the singles that was released. I think it might have been the second one. And this one starts out with a really nice chugging, galloping riff with some intricate playing and a nice use of harmonics. Before the opening lyrics go thusly: wreck of a human mind blurring the line between what is real, what is fiction, and what I feel. Night after night, sin after sin, year after year. I don't know where I've been. Different day with the same old refrain, and it's starting to blare all over again. There's a nice little Lamb of God-esque style bridge section that kind of morphs in this more discordant minor key Slayer type of harmonic riff, you know, dual harmony thing, two guitars. And then we get a ripping solo from Hexed. Some real good playing on this one, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, strong opener. Next up we have Under Grass and Clover. Don't know why I said that. This one was released mid-December, I think it was last year. Chances are a lot of you might have heard this one already. You've probably heard the album by now. Had a touch of an In Flames vibe to it, I thought. I really dug the drums and keyboards on this one. There were definite leanings towards new wave of British heavy metal style riffing in this song. And the chorus had more than a hint of Metallica's The Four Horsemen. Fun listen, this one, I thought. Next up we have Glass Houses. This one had a very precise riff in it. It kind of reminded me very much of Beautiful Morning by Machine Head, off their amazing Blackening album, The Blackening. Make sure we get the in. And Alexei lets us know what the fudge is up. Keep your enemies closer, they say, but I prefer mine dead and miles away. Wanna save the world now and right away. Tomorrow would be better, because there wasn't one today. I enjoyed this one for the most part, but I did find some of the vocal phrasing a little jarring on this one. I don't know, I kind of didn't really enjoy some of it so much. Having said that, I certainly enjoyed the instrumentation throughout the song. Well done, well done. I particularly enjoyed the bridge section riff that came in at around the 2:15 mark. Next up we have Hecate's Nightmare. Starts out with a creepy sounding keyboard line before we get some melodic guitars coming in and a sinister bass line that really stood out. Hecate Blacksmith, I believe that was. More of a mid-paced tempo to this one with some fat ringing out power chords. This one conjured up a real twisted, disturbing vibe. I actually dug this one. I thought this was pretty cool. Lost souls hover over the crossroads at rise of the new moon, when the gates slowly open wide, the hinges creak their tune. The solo in this one, for me, had a very strong sort of Master of Puppets era Kirk Hammett kind of vibe to it. Wah wah, wah wah, wah wah. And it also had some pretty cool melodic guitar lines going under the chorus as well that I enjoyed. Another enjoyable one. Next up we have the rather gruesomely titled Kick in a Spleen. And I believe it's Kick in a Spleen, not the Spleen. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I don't know, somehow it does. Kind of just feels like kick in a random spleen. Not very nice. And this one pretty much sounds exactly as the title would suggest. Fast, frenetic, and the keyboards had an ambience that kind of reminded me a bit of Strapping Young Lad. This one I actually really enjoyed the vocal phrasing on. Your sub-stories are the oldest ones in the book. Will you? Won't you? Do you? Don't you? That's what we call a storm in a teacup. Not that I would do, but could you? There's also some pretty righteous keyboard playing throughout this song, along with Alexi's ripping guitars. Platitudes and Barren Words is up next. I think they released this single last week. They had a particularly interesting video, which I didn't check out. There's a really cool melodic riff in this one, but I really enjoyed the main riff. I thought it was great. And this was really backed up by the keyboards as well to give it that real old school Children of Bodom feel. I really enjoyed the riffs in this song. I did have to say though that I did find Alexi's vocals a little grating in this one. I've never been a huge fan of his vocal style, to be quite honest with you. I think it's one of the things that's kind of put me off. I mean, it's not a bad voice, it's just not really to my liking. But I found this one a bit more grating than usual, or at least elements of it. Come on, just lay it on the line. Kind of had that Dave Mustaine nasally kind of quality to it. I just know I've never done it. Not for me. It's not for me. Having said that, I did enjoy the bulk of the song. As I said, I particularly enjoyed the melodic guitar lines and keyboards. I think there was a nice keyboard solo in there as well. Or perhaps it was a guitar to sound like a solo. I don't know. Researched. Next we come to the title track itself, Hexed of course. Hexed, not Hexed of course. This one had some very heavy and fast Anthrax style sort of down picking, that real heavy right hand or wrist. There was also some nice intricate arpeggio lines thrown in there and some more thrash style riffing. I have to say that Jaska did some fantastic work behind the kit on this one, some furious double bass work. I have to say I did enjoy his drumming pretty much throughout this album, to be honest with you. Again, there was some great use of keyboards along with the riffs that went through this song. Hexed, turned into a casualty. Hexed, a blessing or a travesty. Hexed, demons within. Hexed, crawling under my skin. Ooh. For the outro we get a very 80s style trippy kind of keyboard line as well, which is joined by some, sounds like sort of slide bass. Showing off some skills there. I'm in a different place to where I was. I just encountered about 8 people walking past me. One of them said hello. Next up we have Relapse, the nature of my crime. This one was packed full of great riffs and lead work. Particularly enjoyed the chorus on this one. Relapse once again, drain out my peace of mind, too blind to witness the nature of my crime. Next up we have Say Never Look Back. Very nightmarish quality to the music in this one, and there's more than a hint of Nightmare on Elm Street within these lyrics. 1, 2, 3, you're now in a dream. Never look back, never look, cause you're gonna crack. 5, 6, 7, see the floodlights beam down on you as you wanna scream. 8, 9, 10, here we go again. You can lie down, you can lie, but you're gonna drown. End of the games. Your number is up for now. This was a fun one, and I enjoyed it because of that. A strange thing to say, but somehow it makes total sense. Next up we get the last original song on the album, and that's Soon Departed. And this is a very dark and bleak sounding song, both musically and lyrically. The main riff has a very heavy, plodding tempo, and the lyrics go thusly. When your hands have been tied, from front, back, and from side to side, it's hard to see the shape of things to come, and the past becomes undone. No stars aligned to lead the blind, when your future is already declined. This song is peppered with melodic flourishes and some really nice lead work from Alexi. Next up on the standard edition we have Knuckleduster, and this is basically a reworking of a song that appeared on their, was it 2004 Trashed, Lost and Strung Out EP. There's a string of videos of Alexi doing a track by track for this album, and I think he said in that he pretty much felt that this was one of those underrated songs that never got enough attention. It's a decent enough tune. I'll let you decide for yourselves which version you prefer. And it's also worth pointing out that on the deluxe edition there are 3 bonus tracks. We get I Worship Chaos live, Morrigan live, and we get another version of Knuckleduster, a remix. I'll let you decide for yourselves which version you prefer. Pretty sure it won't be this one. And there we have the album. And in terms of a score, I'm personally going to give this one a 7 out of 10. As someone who's never really given this band that much attention, I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of what I heard on it. I did enjoy the songwriting. As I said, a lot of the riffs were really enjoyable. Some great lead work. Musicianship overall was pretty damn solid. I also have to say that there was some righteous drumming moments here. I thought the keyboard playing was fantastic throughout. And there was even some nice bass lines going on through there that actually stood out. So well done, well done. So what is next for the channel? As I said at the beginning, I'm kind of taking it as it goes at the moment, but I do intend to do at least one video a week. I am about to film my review of Devin Townsend's Genesis track that he released a couple of weeks ago. I did actually write a review for it, but with all this been going on lately, I didn't get a chance to film. So I'm going to go and do that now, way later than it should have been, but for those of you who are interested in that, I should have that out either tomorrow or Monday. Next week I do intend to look at Venom Prison. Whether I'll do anything other than that, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll try and do a couple of track reviews if there's anything else released. I know, again, Devin Townsend's supposed to have a second single coming out at some point. I'm also considering doing a quick video for my Free to Be Positive channel. It's high time I got something else out on that, so there might be something else on that this week. So subscribe to that channel if you're not already. And yeah, I think that will do for today.